Do you like playing with a lot of pedals, but often find that there's either a sacrifice in tone or extra noise coming from a power source or any myriad of problems? Stick around. How's it going, y'all? My name is Cooper Greenberg here at Alamo Music Center in San Antonio, Texas. You can find us online at alamomusic.com. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. We're trying to hit 100,000 subscribers, and we're getting there. So please help us out in that way. And also, if you're interested, click the link below to become an insider. So like I said, today we're talking pedals. We're talking about how to power them and how to fix some issues that you might be troubleshooting if you got a big old mess of pedals that you're playing with. And oftentimes I've been guilty of this, and it's easy, it's inexpensive, but we power pedals with like one 9-volt adapter on a daisy chain. A lot of times it's like a one spot with their adapter that comes with maybe like 6 or 7 extensions on a daisy chain. And it's really easy to do that because it's probably the cheapest option to power a whole board. But there are some shortcomings. And so we're here to talk about isolated power supplies and why you might want to incorporate one into your board, because for a pretty small investment, you can really clean up your tone, get rid of a lot of different problems that you might be having. So we got a few options over here that I'll talk about for a few different reasons. First of all, this is a classic right here, the DC Brick from MXR. It's on a ton of boards, and a lot of people have incorporated this. It's really small and compact and attractive to look at. Probably the most popular one that you see on a lot of different boards would be the Voodoo Labs pedal power supply. But there's a couple cool new things. First off, we did just get Strymon pedals. We've been doing a lot of demos on Strymon pedals recently. They have the Ojai and the Zuma being a bigger one. The Ojai is kind of an extension that you can add on to the Zuma. But we're sold out of the Zuma right now because it is popular and it's very cool. Ojai, I think, is a 5 power extension to the Zuma's 9. But we're really taking a look at the engine room from Fender because it's been very popular. They have a 5 output, 8 output, and a 12 output. And all of these kind of have this in common. Also the Voodoo Labs, which we do not have. These are all pretty much built like little tanks. They're really nice, very durable, and easy to strap onto your board. It's not, that's kind of maybe the first thing to talk about is a daisy chain can get ugly really fast. You're wrapping it around stuff, you're weaving it through, and there's also really no way of customizing the length between your little extensions on the adapter. I think they're probably about 3 inches apart, 4 inches apart maybe. And so you might have to skip one if one pedal kind of has to be woven through. It's really tough to kind of navigate those sometimes, especially with like the small pedal trains. I find I've like wrapped it around, try to keep it organized. It's not easy. But the cool thing about all of these is they come basically in this same format. You have your input where you'll put your, adapter, like your power adapter, and then it's got individual isolated outputs that you use their, included cables that you can go from each output on here into a specific pedal. Now, the good thing about a lot of these, first of all, to kind of counteract that first problem that I was talking about of not being able to have different lengths on a daisy chain, is a lot of these come with different lengths. So you can either buy extra ones that might be a few inches long, longer than the ones included. I think the Zuma and the Ojai come with, a few of each different length. So right away, that's a really easy way to organize your board. You want that board looking good. You want to take pictures, post them to Reddit and Instagram. If you got a daisy chain, I guarantee some downvotes because that's not a good look. All right, so just right off the bat for the aesthetics, nice to have some, just isolated, really clean cable work because that's a good look. But the big deal here is sacrifice in tone and unwanted noise. Now, if you've got really loud vintage pedals like fuzzes and delays, you'll find that if you're using a daisy chain, you'll pick up extra noise from, you know, the previous pedal in the chain. And when you have everything on, it really takes away from your tone that you've got all these pedals to really contribute to a tone. You don't want anything to take away from that tone. Also, with an adapter, a daisy chain, that kind of thing, by the end of that line, once you're powering all these different pedals, you're going to start to lose power, and some are going to get powered more than others, because that's just, you know, it's basically a short-term solution using, you know, just a quick fix to be able to throw power to all of these. But different pedals run at different power. Stuff like this, you've got 9-volt outputs and 18-volt outputs. So it's nice to be able to really tailor each power source to each pedal in terms of what it needs and not drag over that extra noise. So for kind of an easy demonstration of this so you can really hear the difference, we're going to do something a little different today, which is pretty exciting. We've got a customer of ours and local San Antonio guitar legend who has participated in Guitar Wars that we put on many times, a very talented guy. His name's Jester Boyce, and he actually plays with our boy behind the camera, Josh. They're very good friends, and he's just, you know, a friend to us at the store. So this, kind of the whole idea from this video came from he was transferring over from using just a daisy chain kind of setup with the one spot into like making the jump to something like this. So he's using the Engine Room Level 12. It's the biggest one that they offer, you know, without any extensions onto it. And so what Josh did, which was a kind of cool on the fly idea, is they recorded a little bit of his tone with the pedals before and after adding the Engine Room isolated power supply. And so you can really hear, maybe put on some headphones or just crank it up, go through some good speakers. Try and listen to just the tone before and after. And there's a lot of extra noise beforehand, not to, you know, give you a spoiler alert, but you kind of know what we're getting at here. So there you have it. There's a little example of just like a quick, easy change that you can make with your board to just improve your tone. And so a lot of you might be saying, it was really subtle, why make the plunge? Well, first of all, pretty much all of these are less expensive than a pedal. Like, you know, you've spent so much money building this board. You've got, like from Strymon, you've spent upwards of $400 to $500 on each pedal. They've got some that are less expensive than that, but I mean, let's just say you got a Timeline and a Big Sky, and those are just in and of themselves, both of those more than a lot of guitars out there. So you spend a lot of time and money curating this board. Maybe you have a larger board with vintage effects, or you just got this big old pedal collection. And so you spent all this time curating that board. Why not do something to just make sure every pedal not only is getting the maintenance and the power and, gonna last forever and not have, any power mess ups occur. But, you've got these pedals, you want them each to sound as great as they can. You want them to go to their full potential. So it's just an easy fix. I think a lot of these probably range from the $100 to $200 range. And yes, a one spot with a daisy chain will probably cost you about $30. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure that's what I spent on mine. So just a little bit of a jump might be an unnecessary expense for a lot of you that maybe run a tube screamer and a carbon copy or something. You can get away with the daisy chain, you'll be fine. But the difference is going to come out in not only live settings when you got a great sound system and everybody's sounding on point and you're the one guy or gal with a lot of hiss coming off your board, and that's a bummer because they're going to know it's you. But in a recording setting, you've got this beautiful board, you've dialed in these perfect tones, and then there's good noise and there's bad noise. Maybe from a vintage tape machine, a little hiss, that's cool, it adds vibe to the record. But just extra hum or bleed from different pedals, that's not going to be a tone fan's cup of tea. So basically what we're getting at here is if you want to take care of your pedals, if you want them to sound the best that they can, check out an isolated power source, because it's really helpful to have, just from an aesthetic standpoint, organize your board better, get it looking good, looking clean, but get it sounding clean as well. So if you want to learn more about any of these, check out alamomusic.com. We can answer any questions that you guys have on the chat. Give us a call. But also just, do some research. Check out all of the different technicality aspects, because I'm not an electrician. I'm not going to get into specifics because that's over my head, probably over a lot of y'all's heads as well. But I think the proof is in the ears. Listen to the tones, make your own decisions. But check out on our website, ask us any questions. If you like the video, give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. Like I said, we're trying to hit 100,000 subscribers, so thank you guys for helping us with that. If you want to see some cool extra content and get some cool giveaways and discounts and a bunch of fun stuff, be an insider, because we're having a lot of fun out on Patreon. Link is in the description below. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time.